watching IntoWineTV. I'm your host, Lisa Kolenda. Today we're at Cobb Wine Bar and Kitchen here in San Francisco, and we're doing a blind tasting.
So this has, like, right away in the nose, there's some ripe fruit. It's not overly ripe, but it's definitely ripe. Caramel, coffee. That right away leads me to think French oak, which are kind of the caramel sort of quality is more of a marker of French oak, where with American oak you'll often get vanilla, dill, caraway seeds, coconuts.
I gotta say, I love everything about this wine. It's got a beautiful color. It's intense. It's pretty. The nose is refined. It's got quality. It's not overstated. It's not over extracted. It's maybe got more of a European flair to it, whether it's American wine or not. It's got a European sensitivity to it. It's not overly alcoholic, and the palate, I think it's got great length. It's got great body. It's got great texture. I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially after tasting the last couple of wines, you really see like this. It's very dry. It's a really dry wine. There's nice acidity. There's good tannin, but there's definitely the fruit to stand up to it. You know, I'm trying to think. Okay, New World, Old World. I'm thinking probably more New World. Just because I wouldn't really say there's a ton of like distinct terroir in the wine.
Can you explain that a little bit more to some of our viewers who maybe aren't sure the difference between when you say New World versus Old World?
Sure. Old World is pretty much, when you say Old World, it means European wines. Okay. Now, granted, wine was made in South Africa 400 years ago. And South Africa is not California. But New World is usually referred to wines that are not from one of the European countries. And stylistically, the difference, and this is a broad generalization, but New World wines tend to have more of an accent on the fruit. Whereas with European wines, you'll often have more of an equal balance. There'll be kind of more earthy, minerally characteristics that will come through. Now, again, that's a huge generalization.
Yeah, it's interesting, the New World, Old World thing. I'm doing a tasting in about 2 weeks' time where we are doing Old World versus New World, but we have, for instance, a wine from Argentina, which we're classifying as Old World, partly because Argentina's been making wine for so long, and this particular winery is making a wine in an old-style way. We're comparing it to a wine from Chile, which we're considering New World. And then we've got a Chinese wine, Dragon's Hollow, which is we're considering Old World because China has been making wine for thousands of years, but only recently become a winemaking country again. So, you know, when talking about Old World, New World, are you talking about style of wine? Are you talking about the region it comes from? Or are you talking about the strict sort of basic definition, Europe versus colonial countries?
Now, granted, there are definitely some really, within Europe, there are huge differences between, let's say, a sparkling wine that's made of Champagne and a sparkling wine using the same exact grapes that are made in, let's say, Burgundy or Penedès. And there's definitely a difference between having a Syrah that's made like in the Central Coast and a Syrah from the Barossa Valley. So, those are very big generalizations. It's just, it helps to put things into categories, because that's how human beings are.
Okay. So tell us more about this wine and what your thoughts are.
My thoughts are great. I would buy this. I would like to have this wine. I think, what would it go for? Retail, probably, I think $50 or more would be a reasonable price for it.
Okay.
I think it's, what do you think?
Well, I wouldn't pay that much for it. I'm also, I do think it's, just trying to think what it is. I'm leaning New World, and I think it might be a blend. It reminds me of, it has some Cabernet-like characteristics. There's like a cassis thing going on, but it's not huge. There's good tannin, but it's not hugely tannic. There might be some Merlot in it. There's that ripe fruit also makes me think that there could be a little Zin that's blended in, but who knows? As far as what I would pay for this, for me, it's more like a $35 to $40 range.
Okay. Well, let's see what it is.
Let's see.
This is a 2004 La Sirena Syrah.
Oh.
It retails for $60 a bottle.
Wow.
And this is a Napa wine. The winemaker is Heidi Peterson, Barrett.
She's fabulous. Wasn't she the Screaming Eagle winemaker?
I think she, yeah.
She was.
She was a Screaming Eagle winemaker for a while.
Well, what's
2004,
interesting is that
15.5% alcohol. So again, I've been shocked by being anti-alcohol, but I actually like this wine at 15.5.
Okay, so here's the thing though with this wine. I think it's very good. It doesn't have a lot of Syrah varietal character, and for whatever reason it doesn't. You know, I think it's sometimes that just happens. It's a good wine. It's solidly made. $60 retail. I wouldn't do it, but a lot of other people would.
Yeah, I'd do 50. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm cheap. You know.
Now, I'd like to talk about the winemaker a little bit just because she has some really interesting information about her. She was actually named by Time magazine as the wine diva of Napa. Have you heard of that before?
I would say of this day, perhaps, but certainly historically I would think Zelma Long or someone like that would be the wine diva of Napa.
When I think I was a history major, right, and I'm still a complete history geek, and one of the things about wine that interests me is how it has evolved through history and in many different respects. And when you think about like California wine history, there are names that just will always be there. Like Andrei Chalashov, Robert Mondavi, and Zelma Long. I mean, there's no question about it. Zelma Long was like, when it comes to women, she's it. But as far as winemakers who are around now, I definitely think Heidi.
Well, Zelma is still around. She's alive. In fact, she's making wine still, but not.
Oh, she makes wine, and she makes wine in other countries too.
Yeah.
But as far as like other winemakers who might be like more in the spotlight, I mean, Heidi is definitely. She's had a huge impact, and a lot of it also is, whatever you think of it is Screaming Eagle, because it was a wine that I think Robert Parker gave 100 points to, and where to find a bottle is very difficult, and there are places that sell it for $2,000 a bottle. So, as far as being the first woman to make a wine that has become such like a trophy wine, right there, I think she's definitely carved a place for herself.
Yeah, definitely.
She actually set the world record for the most paid for a single bottle of wine
at the Napa Valley Wine Auction.
Yes,
how much?
$500,000.
Oh, I just have the money.
A 92 Screaming Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a single bottle or it's a big bottle?
It was, looks like a liter bottle.
No, I mean, no question. This should be, if this is her wine, should be good.
Great. Well, we've been tasting a 2004 La Sirena Syrah, and thanks for joining us.